Hey, well, today I'm angry because history is repeating itself, and I'm reminded of this specifically on this day, July 14th. This may not mean much to you, this date, July 14th, but it is the national holiday in France. It's known as Bastille Day. And you may wonder why on earth French holidays are of any interest to us whatsoever, but I will explain. This particular holiday was when the French people overthrew all of their elected institutions, murdered tens of thousands of people, and started a new country. And my worry is that with the situation that is developing, we face a similar risk here. And I'm talking about the increasing disconnect between the elite, what were called nobles back in the day, and the common people, which were called peasants back in the day. There's a direct correlation between the disparity between the rich and the poor and social discontent. Now, I will point out to you that over the last decades, an increasing number of people, including normal, conservative, everyday people, have been losing their faith in America's institutions. I'm talking about the fact that if you go into a hospital because your son has broken his leg, you could be facing a $50,000 bill. Who knows? It's impossible to know on the way in. If you have a bank account and for some reason you bounce checks, the fees will often exceed the amount of the checks that you were trying to pay. Every institution seems now to be set up to capture as much as they can from the populace. We are being fleeced, and the population is becoming aware of it. Discontent is growing. Look at the rioting that's already in existence in the streets. Now let's go back. I'm going to show you a picture by Eugene Delacroix from 1830, and this is, what would it be, 50 years after the beginning of the French Revolution. And you can see that originally, this was a fight for liberty. It had the highest ideals, as all of these riots do. Now, my worry is that the disparity between the nobles and the peasants, or in the terminology of today, the disparity between the 1% and the working man, it has become so great that the anger is building without any kind of release. You see rioting in the streets, and this is just because of a short-term issue, a belief that police brutality is out of control. This may be true, but this is nothing compared to the strife and chaos that is about to descend upon us, and I will tell you exactly why. The point will come that the world will no longer accept our paper currency in exchange for real things. This will cause tremendous dislocations here in this country. There is an enormous percentage of the population, poor, elderly, who rely on the government. If these payments end, when people run out of food, even the most calm, conservative person will be out on the street rioting. As this money is being created, prices for essentials like food will rise and will continue to rise. The disparity between the elites and the common man is putting us all at risk of another social upheaval, which perhaps, God forbid, could be as great as the French Revolution. That is the warning, what happened in the French Revolution. Clergy were killed, intellectuals were killed, the nobility was killed, the royalty was killed, people were hacked to pieces on the street. It was a time of wild chaos. All the institutions failed. Now, I ask you, when you look at the institutions that are in existence today here in America, do you think that they can be reformed? Or do you think that the people will start to believe that without reform, only their failure can give rise to something better? If we cannot reform our institutions, this is our fate. Not now, maybe. Not in 10 years, maybe. Who can forecast when? I didn't forecast that there'd be an occupied zone in Seattle in 2020. I don't think anybody did. These things can spiral out of control before you even are aware that they've begun. We need a stable society where we can trust that institutions are behaving responsibly for the greater good. Today we don't have that. Please, let's reform them before it's too late. Let's wake up.